for a second on your stream. I came in from getting my iced tea, and I heard your stream.
I said,
very good. Very
Trash
cool.
Panda is live.
Very, very cool. Yeah, I like that better. Let's dim the lights. So temporarily, we're going back to the heart and the white lights, and then I will do slowly indoctrinate y'all into the Christmas season. Some people say not till after Thanksgiving. So slowly you'll see like colored curtain lights come up, and then the heart will go away, and then a snowflake will come down. You feel me?
Yeah, I'm not.
I thought you were pulling up our stream and you're bidding on baseball cards.
I'm not bidding on anything.
Hey,
look.
Teresa, how are you?
Look, I didn't bid on any.
I know, but I was just joking.
Okay, here we go. Let me.
Trash Panda, your coloring was awesome. Arlene, hello. I have a coloring book. Actually, I had 3 of them. I don't know if I have any copies left. It was Color Me Calm, and they were all cuss words. Do you remember that one I had?
Yes.
I mean, it was a coloring thing, but the phrases on them were like full of cuss words. But when I was in rehab, someone gave me that coloring book, and I said, now this one I can do.
So I'm trying to get to our live stream here,
hey,
and it's a Herschel. It's a Herschel ad.
They're getting down and dirty here in Georgia over this election. It's coming down to the battle of who beat the ass the worst.
Yeah, so
it's really bad. They're all coming
bad.
out with domestic abuse.
First it was
babe?
Yeah, wait, I need to turn it this way.
Okay.
First it was they came out with Herschel Walker was a great running back at the University of Georgia, was a good pro, and now he's running for office here in Georgia.
Presley.
So they came out with this domestic violence. He had a domestic violence thing years ago, and it's pretty bad. But then about 3 weeks ago, the sitting senator Raphael Warnock, they showed his domestic violence thing, and that was just in 2020 while he was like in office.
And his was really just an allegation. Like it was it was a shoulder cam, and it really is open to interpretation because it appears
still his wife, right?
I think so. I don't know.
It was his wife accusing.
But they couldn't. There was no evidence that anything had actually happened. So anyway, Gabby and Clint's wedding pics were amazing. Did you see how tiny her waist was with that gothic dress on, and then the very cool.
She still seems like
it was
bigger than
super
Clint,
hard not to disclose to everybody when it was.
Did you see when she was doing the keg stand?
It was on yesterday on Halloween, because her grandmother's birthday is on Halloween, and her grandmother and grandfather got married on Halloween.
You get married on whatever day you want, man.
Yeah, but I go, since you were off today, I was thinking it was like a Sunday. You know what I mean? Like, so I was like, oh, okay. So
most weddings are like Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
It was absolutely adorable. And then the one with her and the rifle, that was cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a secret that I had to keep. Legally, I think they'd already done, that was done, but this was the big wedding.
Party.
Yeah.
This was the party.
And
aren't they going, they're going to like a honeymoon, like.
Don't say where they're going.
No, I mean like, but not in this country.
No, they're going to 2 different countries.
Yeah.
I was like, go you guys, get it going.
Someone's got some money.
Yeah, well, I think that they like have saved for it for as long as they've. Clint looked extremely proud of her standing there, and it was in Florida.
Yep.
So, yes. I had told her congratulations, and then like she immediately like got me back, and I was like, you're up and at him. I said, someone was doing a keg stand, and I figured you wouldn't be. She said, I got too much to do. I had to get up, and I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Go on with your bad self.
Hey, who noticed our thumbnail?
They weren't there, I don't think.
The thumbnail.
No, I don't think they were in Sneed's Ferry. Like the location said Sneed's Ferry.
Really?
I don't think they were there.
I don't think they were there. Were they?
No. I don't think so. I'm trying to figure out why it would have said that. I don't know.
Unless they had a party at Camp Lejeune. Could have been.
No, that's possible. Now,
and then right across the bridge in Chadwick Bay is
let me show my hair, and then you can tell them our exciting news. I had her put some burgundy in it.
God, her hair did.
I had her put some burgundy in it because it's the fall or whatever. One of the questions they always ask is, which way do you part your hair? I don't really know the answer to that because I don't part my hair anyway. I just do this. But hairdressers always ask that. There you go. See, Casey knows.
Let me see.
Travel trauma nurse. Yep.
As a travel nurse. Yeah.
So, what did y'all think of the thumbnail? Sean? Which of the chickens is going to be a mother?
Did you guys see the chickens finally laid eggs?
You guys, I
or
thought...
one of them, there was 2 eggs in there. So I'm thinking there might have been one.
They're 2 different sizes, though. I was
They
like...
could have been 2 different birds.
Well, we're going to let them sit on them. Hey, Brussels sprouts. Yum! I love Brussels sprouts if they're cooked just right. Hey, Christine.
Hey, Christine.
So, we opened a little... little thing that you look in all the nesting boxes. So we've been, we had to get some mice out of there. But today Sean lifted it, and what happened, Sean?
There was 2 eggs in there, guys.
That's why the thumbnail is
Real
our eggs.
eggs.
Yes. You would have thought there was a plus sign on the pregnancy test. Sean was like, ah!
I'm scared. I think I startled Mandy
I
a
thought it
little
was
bit.
a snake or something. I didn't know. And he goes, look, oh my God, look. And I was like, am I going to be looking? You're like, no, look. And I was like, then I figured out what it was. Because I was like, don't make me look at a snake. I don't want to see a snake.
But they were the eggs.
They even, one of them was, I said, maybe they're the fake ones. He goes, no. And then he picks them up. I'm like, no, don't pick them up.
You can though.
I know, but we're going to let
them,
we're going to let them sit on them. I don't know if they're fertilized or not, but Tiny and the big red one are now.
They're palling around. We're going to have to get video of them.
And just like a true couple, she's kind of gobbling and bitching at him now, and he relents.
Yeah, he's kind of.
They'll be going around. He used to run the show. Hey, let it go. Hey, Danny.
Let it go. Hey, Danny.
But they were over foraging for whatever, and he kind of was helping. He kind of put his head down on it, kind of watched her, and he's like, bloop, bloop, bloop. And he kind of was like,
he's like,
I was like, that away. You got the eggs now. Now that you've had the eggs and you've laid him, he needs to help you. Go sit on him.
Yes.
Will Tiny sit on him?
No.
They never sit on him?
I think that she doesn't seem very broody because they will sit on their eggs. They'll sit in there. Maybe she doesn't want to do that. We'll have to look it up if brown ISAs are broody. I don't think they are. But she was in there until I came out, and then she came out.
Is that what made you check?
No, like when
you saw that they were making the.
I was going to show you that they were making nests. Remember?
I see.
And you could see the little circles, and then down in that one,
we got eggs.
There's eggs, so we have eggs.
No problem, Trash Panda. It was Halloween. People were super busy last night. There was a bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah, there was a couple of our friends were also live, and so that everybody kind of watches everybody, so they had to split their time. So you can't see everybody every night.
What is that, Sawyer? What's in your mouth? He got a bath at PetSmart today.
Everybody got their hair did today, but me.
Yes, they'll taste better all crisp.
They are. Fresh eggs are excellent.
Yeah, we don't know if they're fertilized or not. After these, we're going to let them sit on these, but after this, we're going to take them out. But I'm just curious to see if they hatch.
I'm waiting to see if does anybody have chickens? I know Karen does. I know there's a couple other people.
It's good to see you,
These
Danny.
are brown eggs, so.
I didn't know that they bleach the eggs to make them white. Do they really? That's for real?
That's why the eggs you see in the store.
But why wouldn't they just leave them white? I mean, brown.
I guess they're not. I mean, if you look at some of the cage-free, you can see some are brown eggs, but the vast majority of eggs you buy in the store have been bleached. You notice they're very white. Most eggs aren't very white.
Is it because they bleach the asshole of the chicken and the egg comes out white?
No. It's after the chicken.
And that's a thing, right, with adult stars? They bleach their
so.
asshole. I read that in Cosmopolitan one time, and I was like, is that for real?
All the porn stars do that?
They bleach their,
Why, though,
They bleach the starfish. Well, I don't know, because if they're going to zoom in on it, I guess nobody wants to see it brown and puckered or something. Anyways, we digress.
Yeah, look back to the...
Let It Go, can you candle them? So, Let It Go, I was asking Sean about that, about checking to see if they were...
So what I heard is you can hold them up to like a light behind it, and you can see in there.
Gotcha.
Like if you put a light behind the egg and you can see, and if there's like a little vein in there or something like that, it means it's fertilized.
And I know it's too late if you crack it, but if you crack it and it has a little white squiggly thing, it was fertilized, right?
Yeah, but see...
It can't be fertilized if
No.
they're in a chicken factory.
And I haven't seen freaking Tiny.
No, they're not into that.
They're
They're kind of,
maybe when we're not looking, but
she's not a first date kind of chicken. You know what I
No.
mean?
I'm just glad. I mean,
He said, you took me out for chicken nuggets and a shake until you take me out for steak.
yeah, she's not giving you eggs. But I was just like, I was looking. If you look in the one corner of our like den in there, and you look at all the supplies that we have, and a lot of it's to feed the deer. But I'm looking at this, and I'm like, okay, look, I pay X amount. I pay X amount for the chicken coop. We've got to get a bale of wheat straw a week, and all the food. I'm like, they better start producing.
And we were joking around that they were like, you lay an egg. Tell you what, you lay an egg, and we'll match you egg for egg.
Yeah, the chickens are like, get your own damn eggs.
He was very excited, though.
I was very excited. So
he got to see them today, like how they go to different places during the day. Because when he comes home, they're always kind of milling around out there. But I said, like earlier, he was like, where are they? And I was like, they go between several places.
Yep. It's like our place runs lengthwise along the road, to the road that we're on. And the chicken coop is on, I guess if that's west, east, I guess to the north side of the house. And then we have, how long do you think our house is? 80 feet maybe?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not good with feet. No, it's longer than 80 feet.
100 feet?
Yeah, probably at least 100.
And the wood line runs all along the back. So the chicken coop, and then there's a little strip of land, and then woods. It's like only like maybe 8 feet of yard, and then the woods. And they just kind of run back and forth along the back of that.
Yeah. We did another, right? Lay an egg or you'll have chicken and dressing for Thanksgiving.
I know.
We also went and got all of the remaining Juro spiders. And that we think are left, and fed the chickens. They know now when we take the little rake, it's like a smaller rake on a thing. They know that's the one we get the spiders with, so they start running behind us. And they're used to it now, so that we can put the rake down when there's a spider on it, and they know there's one on it.
They go and they find the spider.
Yeah.
They look in the rake and
I was like, we're such rednecks, but we're rednecks in love.
The thing is like sometimes when you
have to say, yes, we are.
We are in love. We're very much
rednecks in love.
We're rednecks in love. I was saying to Mandy, I was talking about, because we went to Ulta while we were waiting for Sawyer Brown to get done with his bath. And I mentioned to Mandy, like, where she lived in Austin was, and this is while we're on the way home. And I said, where you lived in Austin was prime. Where your house was and what they started building around it, all the Ultas and everything. Fast food and all the restaurants, everything. They were literally, you could walk to a lot of it.
I think that's what happened.
And she looked at me, and I said, just everything where you were and this and that, everything that you like to do. And she looked at me, and while we were driving along, and says, I like it here better.
I do like it here better.
It made me feel good.
It did. I like it. Literally, Ulta was 320. If you looked on Google Maps, Ulta was 325 feet from my house.
A football field away.
But what I always kept it in my mind, I didn't think about it being right there. The shoe carnival was only 300 feet from my house.
Wasn't the place where you got your hair done right there too?
It was at Ulta.
Yeah, so everything that she did, she didn't even need a car.
But I just didn't keep it in my head that it was, I was so not in a good place that even after I got sober off the pills, I was in such a weird space. I didn't go over there and shop.
Yeah.
I didn't. But I did shop. It just happened to not be back there. It's weird. I don't know.
Because I know that if Mandy...
Bye, Presley. Enjoy work. You probably don't have much
Presley.
longer. Southern chicken.
If Mandy wants something, she's going to get it somehow. And she'll talk about this and that. And I'm like, okay, that's what she wants. And we're a half hour from anything. Mm-hmm. Out here.
The only thing I'll venture for is the tea.
She'll jump in the car and be like, I'm going to get tea. And
all your auctions are ending.
Oh, they're all, I didn't bid on a single one though tonight.
You can bid on whatever you want. I didn't.
So
last night, if you weren't in here, hey Karen, we were having a discussion about, we won't go through it again, but Bigfoot and how Bigfoot reproduces and or feeds their young, and do they deliver? And that was a lot of fun. Barry Hot, are you here?
And that our chickens had eggs.
We were still laughing about that when we got off the thing yesterday.
What about the Bigfoot?
Well, today when the girl was doing my hair, she's indigenous to this area. She's a young, sweet girl. She's probably in her early 20s, I would say. Sweet as can be. And I was talking to her.
Indigenous. That's such a good word.
Is that a good word?
I
said I was like, okay, so something else that seems to be a thing here that is new is Bigfoot. And she looked at me and she rolled her eyes and she was like, yeah, it is. And I said, so? She goes, that's a bunch of horse shit.
That's not right.
And I said, well, but it's a thing here. And I explained to her kind of how Sean has now gotten into it. She said in Helen, there's a Bigfoot museum. And where was the other one?
Either Blue Ridge or Ellijay.
Okay. But Karen, Sarah Smiles, if you happen to be here, the biggest one is in Corvallis, Oregon.
That's where the biggest Bigfoot place is?
That's the biggest museum is in Corvallis, Oregon.
You know what I like best about this phone, though? Not to change the Bigfoot. You can do like 2 and 3 things at one time.
I know. It's a good phone. It's lighter than this one, too. So I thought that was interesting. But anyway, she is like born and raised around here. If you say something like, oh yeah, I saw someone get arrested at Walmart or whatever, she goes, oh yeah, my uncle works for da-da-da, and this is what happened. She knows everything about the area. She is that small town hairdresser.
That's how the guy I work with is. I've had a guy that's worked the front. He's been a clerk at the post office for like 26 years. He's 60-something. Cool guy. I consider him a friend. And he knows, like, if somebody comes in and, like, if I'm up front there, you know, and someone comes in, I'll say something. He knows all about them. He knows all about their family and
that's cool.
Their kids and stuff like that, because he's been working there for almost 3 decades. That's a long time.
It's a long time.
Shit,
he gave you your old man shoes.
That's right.
What are they?
My Hokas.
His Hokas.
I about wore them out though.
Yeah, he gave it to him Christmas time last year. About that.
I got to figure out the model of them because if I'm gonna stay with that job,
Cadillac of Hokas.
If I'm gonna stay with that job, Sawyer Brown.
Are you going to get your shoes for real?
I'm gonna go get them. They're right here.
Okay, you can go get them. Did y'all want to see his shoes? Is 8 and loves Bigfoot, and he won a Bigfoot costume contest a couple weeks ago. How cool is that?
See?
Oh, and I'm gonna let you show these, and then I'm gonna tell something else the hairdresser said about it, and it's gonna be funny. Don't sit on Sawyer Brown.
I know. Come here, Sawyer Brown. Go ahead. Let's talk about Bigfoot first, and then we'll.
Here, and we are all ants. He's the hens. Yes, 2 eggs.
I know.
Karen was honestly the first one I sent the pictures to, and it wouldn't send.
We were still outside.
Because Karen's waiting for her eggs, too. She's trying to get hers to lay eggs.
Look.
Chicken. Love it. They can't see it, baby. You're not holding it.
Yeah, they can. Look.
Oh, okay.
Look at the rip. Can y'all see that?
But did it help your back and feet?
Yeah, it's good for my feet, but I wore them out. And here's the other side.
Who knows anything about Hokas? He was very proud. He was like a new dad. It was like holding up a pregnancy test.
These ones are really bad. Oh, you mean with the eggs? Look, I got to get new ones, guys.
They're clean, though.
I know.
You don't wear them outside?
I don't wear them outside. I wear them to work.
Karen's here. She poked her head. She might have. Karen said, yes, it's a thing here. That's the last. People have been scoping up YouTube names. Elvis Bergs, MFW, Rich Life, and many others have scared us. I was, so the other thing, so I was talking to this girl and I was like, yeah, but you know, Sean's really researching the Bigfoot, the Yeti thing. And she goes, I said, I don't know if he believes or not. He's just open to it.
I do.
And she said, you know what? She said, half the ones that get pictures, they could have gone to Walmart and put on some hunting camo and put a mask on. That's what they look like. And I think she offended the girl getting her hair done next to us.
Really?
Yeah.
Because she believed too.
I think she offended her.
I was listening to so it was on a Bigfoot Instagram.
Arlene says Benham, Sean. They're Benham, trash them.
Well, no, not yet.
He's gonna duct tape them.
I've got two pairs of Merrills, right? one pair of Merrills are all tore up, and then I got another pair of Merrills. But I guess I can trash them. It used to be that I only had. It used to be that I only had like 3 pairs of shoes ever. You know, like at one time.
Hold on, I know what you're talking about now, and you're right. They have YouTube handles now, and people are like scooping up Elvis Berg's MFW, like they're taking them before anyone else can get them.
Oh.
So she's like, scoop yours up. When I did we were in Galveston when I signed up for the Mandi Curly Gmail or whatever. I got wind that someone, and I don't know who it was, but someone said, I'm just warning you, so someone's about to register Mandi Curly at Gmail. And once it gets taken, it's taken. Yeah. So remember we were sitting and I was like doing it real quick.
You got it, didn't you?
I got it, yeah. But that would have kind of been epic. If anybody else that likes to troll or whatever, if I'd gone to sign up for Mandi Curly and it was taken.
You could literally be on panel with somebody and someone else would be in there.
Yeah, it was so funny. But yeah, but we'll have to work on that. Having said that.
One of the things that we did today, or was it yesterday? No, today. I was off work today. I'm rarely off during a weekday.
Yeah.
But so I got today off and we went and we got the tags for the car because my birth month is in October, so I'm a day late. So it was only a $5 late fee. So we got tags for the car, but we went into the Walmart, the Dahlonega Walmart, and we are trying to gather things for our backdrop for the holiday season. And they're mostly Christmas stuff, but we're still on the lookout for like maybe a Thanksgiving theme thing, but we haven't found one yet. But we did get some stuff to change this back here to Christmas.
We did.
But it's
going to look good.
It's only November 1st, so.
Yeah. You know what? Those mini tree ornaments that they have at Walmart where they have like 4 on a pack and they're not very expensive, but they're made for like mini trees or whatever. I'll get them and I usually gift wrap and tie them onto the gift wrap. And I have chicken gift wrap paper this year, so I was hoping they had like chicken mini ornaments, and they don't. But I'm thinking, and I looked at Hobby Lobby and they didn't, but I'm thinking maybe Michael's would.
Yeah, we'll find those.
If not, I could just do little pine cone, whatever.
They're going to have chickens. Now, Tractor Supply had little chickens for stuff, but they were expensive just for a little chicken.
Your family's into our chickens too. Sometimes I think they're half like teasing us about how much we're into them. But then sometimes I'm like, no, they're into them too. Your dad is super into our chickens.
We're going to have to send him pictures of the eggs.
Yeah. I was like, I should say, you're going to be grandparents again. And they'll be like, what? And I'm like, eggs.
The eggs. I remember the first time I bring like some fresh eggs over there, they'll be excited. We're acting like we're going to get like 10 eggs a day now. We're not.
Leghorns, though, laid well.
Yeah. Leghorns.
They didn't survive
the
great crisis of
boring-looking white chickens that are called Leghorns, and they're like the white ones, like Foghorn Leghorn, but they supposedly lay an egg a day for like 4 years.
Yeah, super cool.
They give you 1,200 eggs. So if you have a flock of 20 Leghorns or 30 Leghorns, you have 2 dozen eggs a day, just about.
Oh, I gotcha. That makes sense. I need to remember to do this when we're Stitching's thinking about doing Vlogmas. I should show him Jason sitting there on the couch.
Yeah, Vlogmas would be good. That'd be a good idea. We took the Halloween ornaments down, and they're kind of like. I know. Jason is over there sitting on the couch. He was hanging up outside.
It's kind of creepy looking. Is Karen, how old are yours? Karen said hers haven't laid yet either, but Karen's are...
Hers are younger than ours,
but
though.
Not a whole lot younger than ours. Oh. And I think a couple of them she got already grown. I'm not sure.
I mean, I think that we're not sure, but it might be that the brown one has laid twice.
Yeah.
But see, I changed out the hay Sunday. Was it Sunday? Okay. Sunday. So then I noticed 2 in there today. So either she laid one yesterday during the it was a yucky rainy day, because that one was sort of muddy a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's one. No, it's not.
So anyway, after we cleaned it, they said, well, you filthy asshole. Now that you've cleaned it, maybe we'll lay an egg. Nobody wants to lay an egg in that filth.
No.
It really wasn't that dirty.
It needed to be changed, and it's fresh now, so.
They did a little... I'm going to do curtains. I'd forgotten, but I saw tablecloth material at Walmart because I'm going to put the curtains on the outside of the windows. I might put some on the inside, but those would be material. But the ones on the outside, I'm going to do the vinyl tablecloth material so it'll take the rain and stuff.
Yeah.
And then
Let me see this
you know what I could do? I could paint the nesting boxes like baby colors, like yellow, and put like little ducks on the wall in there. Oh my gosh.
But you know what,
like
Mandy?
Little nurseries. That would be so cute. Little nurseries and like little nursery rhymes on the walls and stuff like that.
But look, that would be. But I'm going to look at
Wouldn't
something.
it be adorable?
Now I'm looking at these pictures, the pictures of these eggs, right?
I think they crapped on one.
Is that
They
dirt?
crapped on it.
And those are definitely not the fake ones because the fake ones were more elongated.
Well,
you know?
said you didn't put the fake ones in
I
there.
didn't.
I would have thought that one's fake, but not that one.
Yeah.
There you go. It's already decorated for Easter. I think that's poop on it.
It might be.
So anyway, there you go.
That just means she was laying on the egg, though.
Yeah, she needs to keep sitting on them. When do they figure out it's not fertilized if it's not?
I don't know if they do or not.
They just sit and sit and sit and sit and then, oh my goodness. That's a whole thing.
It's a whole learning process for us.
It is a learning process. But do you think I should do like little baby nurseries in each of the nesting boxes?
You could
like
do
yellow
that.
with like a little mobile in it and stuff?
Here I was thinking that by now we were going to have like...
Karen, can you see Karen, I don't think Karen's seeing you let it go. She might be listening. She is. I promise you she is. I don't think she's seeing it.
Our leghorn hen is brown and not an egg to be seen.
Karen, can you see Let It Go? I don't think Karen's ever blocked anybody in her entire... Well, there are a couple people she might have.
She's not speaking to us right now either, so... Yeah.
No, she is, but the thing is...
But no, I mean, not answering us. She might be just
cooking
watching.
Dinner and listening,
yeah.
So anyway, that is the excitement news of the day.
Sorry, guys, I was fitting up dinner.
That's what I figured. Yeah. I was going to say, it takes a lot for Karen to be mad at somebody.
Crisis averted.
You got to pretty much, like, do something to one of her friends, or she's, like, a pretty cool cat. She's even killed, too. She's the voice of reason a lot of times. If I'm ready to go completely 0 to 180. Oh, ladybug.
Oh.
Why do the ladybugs come out so many times during the year? They come out like in the springtime. They come in the fall time. Is it a water, like moisture thing?
I don't know, but I didn't mean to hurt it.
Well, okay, well.
It'll be okay.
Oh my, he's going to resuscitate it. Give him a second. Get a little battery in the... No, but the ladybugs are... Yeah, but see, here's the thing, Let It Go. They, like, the place I worked last, it was, you know, like a plantation almost. I would have to go... The ladybugs would take over upstairs.
Yeah,
and I would have to go...
That.
But it was not this time of year. It was in the summertime.
But it was...
So when do they come out? When it's wet?
I think... Well, today was warm. Last night,
I know
it got cold. It got cold last week for a couple days.
Karen has found her spunkiness. She's been dragging some folks on Twitter.
Nice.
Anyway, go ahead.
They go check that out.
They come on.
Okay, so we had a cold snap last week. I took the heater and put it in the chicken house. But the last couple days, even though it's been rainy, it's been kind of warm. The toads are back out, jumping around out there.
So it kind of fooled them.
Yeah, because they'll go hibernate or whatever when it gets really cold. So,
well, there you go.
I think like the bugs have come back out too.
See? Well, there are some bitches around here lately. Karen has come a long way since she arrived in our community.
She'll drag a bitch for sure.
Karen, how do you tell if the eggs are fertilized? She might not know.
Yeah, we were wondering.
She's a novice too. I wonder how she convinced her hubby to I had a friend that used to say that. I'm curious how she convinced the hubby to do chickens. Like all of a sudden she's like,
Karen's?
Yeah, she was like, we're looking for chicken. I don't think they've ever had chickens before. And she was like, we're looking for chicken coops. And I was like, well, ours is like from a shed place, but her setup is awesome. There's a little white disc in the yolk with a bullseye on it. Is she joking?
Yeah, but you have to kind of like hold it up to the light, right? Isn't that what you have to do?
Yeah. I don't know. I'd like to know that myself.
I think that's what you have to do.
Or you just let it be a surprise. And I don't want to know if it's a girl or a boy, so don't let the doctor tell us if it's a girl or a boy.
They have to. You have to. Well, what we have to do if these don't work out is we just have to get an incubator and put them in there.
I know, Karen, but we don't. We don't want to crack it if it's fertilized. She's like, no, you can see it when you crack it, but then it's a whole thing, Karen. We can't tape it back together.
I don't think these are fertilized, but I don't know.
And you put a candle behind the egg to see it.
A candle or something.
Because we're going to get an incubator. That was what we secured.
That's how a couple eggs hatched. I've done that a couple of times. It was like 2 or 3 eggs, and I've put them in an incubator, and twice they hatched.
Candlelight it in 3 days. Okay.
The problem with it is if it's only one chick. You know, you need to have a couple of them so that they can stay warm all the time.
But how many you can put 12 eggs in an incubator.
That's what I mean. But if only you don't know how many of them are going to hatch.
Oh, and if you order them online from people, they're not guaranteed.
No, I mean, and I get it. Like I've seen, like say on eBay or whatever, someone advertises on eBay, and then they get a negative rating, because someone says I ordered 12 eggs and only 3 hatched, and and the reply is we can't guarantee, like if you buy 20 eggs you're going to have 20 chicks.
Yeah, there's no way to know that.
That doesn't even happen in the best of situations.
Yeah, no, you're right. But you also have to be careful that snakes don't get the eggs, correct?
Snakes like eggs, and then like big rats like eggs. We don't have big rats. We have little mice. Let me see.
Don't read it out loud, but she's going back to that. We're going back to drama-free drawing. If you see the hen not wanting to leave it for a day or so, it's a good chance it's fertilized, and then start candling it. Oh, okay.
If you don't know, leave it, they said.
Well, if the hen is I guess the hen kind of knows if it's.
The hen will know?
That's what she's saying. She's saying that.
She was in there, but she wasn't in there most of the day. Like, she was in there in the morning, and then she came out at like 11.
But other ones, the Brahmas and the Americanas have been in there quite a bit. They could have been sitting on it for her.
They've been in there? You've seen them in there?
Yeah, when Tiny and the Silkies and her was over here playing around, and I had taken them food like yesterday, I think, the Americanas and the Brahmas came running out of the coop for.
The thing about when I put hay in, when I changed it out, each of the nesting boxes, and we have 5, right? And there's 5 of them. They'd never done this before, but if you go and open up the outside of the nesting box, you can, they had made a little curvature out of each one. You notice that? Mm-hmm. And they had never done that before.
Kind of like a cyclone.
Yeah.
Breeding hens and done. Where we went and got Tiny, it was funny because there was a broody hen that was sitting on like 13 eggs.
And there was chicks running around everywhere too.
And she was sitting on everybody's eggs.
She would.
It wasn't even hers, and she would, if you went in there where she was, she'd jump back in.
She'd come running out and attack you. So there was one little spot, one little corner where all the hens would go. Mm-hmm.
And she'd
sit
lay
on their eggs, and then the one hen would sit on.
It was kind of cute.
It was cool.
She goes, "Do you want to see it?" And I was like, "Sure." And she goes, "Oh no, don't." And she's like,
"Don't get too close." She's like, "She'll come running out after you."
I thought that was sweet, and I was like, "So you're not like eating those eggs?" She's like, "She has a heart attack if we get near them." It was really cute.
That is pretty cool.
It was cool. So some are broody, and some are not. So it's like, I guess it's a learning experience.
Different breeds are more broody than others too.
That makes sense.
Like when you're like, I have every edition of Chicken Magazine for 2022, and they, so you read the different breeds, and some chickens you don't have as many as other breeds, because unless you incubate the eggs, because some breeds are really broody and will sit on the eggs and raise their young, and then there's other breeds that don't. They just lay the eggs and move on.
Yeah.
So unless you incubate or there's a broody hen that takes over, you don't have as many chicks that hatch of a certain breed.
Did any of you in Home says she has a whole bunch of places. Oh, okay. Did any of you, like, when you were in, I guess it was health class or whatever, did you ever do like the egg baby where you had to carry this egg with you everywhere and not break it, and it was a grade and it was supposed to show you how hard it is to take care of a baby or whatever?
I saw the ones where you had to keep like a
flower baby or whatever.
You had to keep the flower in your belly or whatever.
Something like that. Well, I mean, I had a baby at 18, and let me tell you, it wasn't a bag of flour. It was a little bit harder. No, but that's like part of the thing that they have you do is carry the egg around. You get to decorate it and everything, and then you carry it around and make sure that it doesn't break, and that's how you get your grade.
Ah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, like it does. I don't think it proved to anybody. You know, I remember when Dylan when she had a one of those babies that cries like in home ec or whatever, and you got to like get up with it and do whatever, and your grade depends on it. And I remember hers would cry all the time, like she couldn't get it to stop crying.
It's like an electronic thing.
And it had like a chip in it. And it reported if she got up with it, if she did this. Those are all her. Let it go. I hear you there. I hear you. Those are all of our magazines. And then you're going to get a subscription to one.
Every time I get one, I grab the little card out and I never fill it out, but I should.
Hey, Mama Ricky. I did the egg in grade school. I went straight home and made a fried egg sandwich. That was the thing. Like, I didn't understand. Yes, I had twins at 17. It was a lot harder. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I mean, it's all fine and good doing these little things that you have to for health class, but I don't think it's convincing anybody not to have a baby. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's, but I think every
That was the idea, is to make people...
Well, especially with these computerized ones that they're doing now. It'll cry in the middle of the night and you have to get up with it. You have to take it to everywhere with you. It's like a junior project or something. And it has a chip in it, and then you get a grade because they download everything from the baby. Did you get up with it? Did you feed it? Did you, like, it had a bottle that would go. How do they know? Because it has a chip in it.
Yeah, but does the chip like go to like the teacher's computer or something like that?
And
cool.
They also, like, you got to figure out why the baby's crying. So, like, she would have to try this little fake bottle. There was a pacifier. You would have to do this. You wouldn't, and it would be in the middle of the night, and you didn't know what was going to stop it from crying. Some people would just take a bad grade and stick it in the closet and be done with it. You know what I mean? Like, it would be,
well.
But it was interesting because she did that, and then shortly thereafter, she actually had a baby. So it was like, it's not the same, is it? Is like a computer chip.
I'm sitting here trying to figure out the, like, because there's no like dad around when they're
they had baby grade. The boys had to do it too.
But I mean, the boys had to do it by themselves, like, and then the girls had to do it by themselves.
Yep.
And what did you say the idea behind it was? Just the responsibility that comes with it?
That, and getting up in the middle of the night when it would cry. Teenagers don't want to wake up in the middle. I don't think that it doesn't do anything for teen pregnancy, because most teen pregnancies are not planned anyway.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. The only thing I would say, and maybe I'm being too, I don't know, but don't they want high school kids to get sleep and stuff? Well,
what they want them to do is not have babies. So they think if they scare them into thinking that that's awful not to do it, that they'll use protection or not do it or whatever. I mean, I was in high school in the 90s. Abstinence was like, if you were doing it, you didn't tell anybody, because it was like the True Love Waits, that whole era, the Dare era. If you smoke a joint, 2 days later, you're going to be doing heroin. Don't do it. Like the gateway drug, the whole thing. And so it wasn't like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a little different. The 80s were kind of, there was Just Say No in the Reagan administration and Nancy Reagan, but we kind of partied anyway, you know. I guess the 80s was kind of the tweener because the 70s was kind of right
wow.
after the 60s. So the 70s, there was a lot of like good drugs and a lot of free love and all that. So we were kind of, the 80s were kind of high school, for the high school days, were kind of the end of that, but we were still kind of being categorized as like deadheads and burnouts and all that. So
Yeah, you're my sister's age.
mm-hmm.
I don't think we can change the color, just on and off that color. I wish we could. When we do Christmas, that one's gonna come down. We got AIDS though. Yeah,
was it the 80s?
True.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is probably what gave way to the 90s being abstinence. And I hear that they give out like, now you can go get condoms and stuff in the nurse's office. You couldn't do that in my high school. There was no freaking way.
That's crazy.
She would probably call your parents and then sit you down and talk to you or whatever.
I gotta go pee, baby.
Oh my gosh. But you know what I mean? Like they're now it's talking about like, you know, you get it from the nurse's office, or they have like, you know, no questions asked. You can get, all this stuff. That was not the case when I was in school. It was, if people were obviously doing it, but you did talk about it. Like if people found out that you were, you know, doing it or whatever, it was like a huge thing. Like, well, you're not waiting or whatever. And it was a whole thing. I heard that, Trash Panda. She was making a chill space, relax and listen. I like it. I know, right? I was like, he could have said he needed to go wash the car. He could have said, if you shake it more than once, you're playing with it. Thank you, Pink Life. I appreciate it. She was super excited today when she said, what are we doing? The same old, same old. And I said, yeah, but will you put the chunks of red into it? And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, of course I will. And hey, Paula. And she knows I don't like to cut it. I don't know why, because it's not like I put it up all the time. But she trimmed it. You know, it feels like when they take like 2 inches off, like they've cut most of your hair off. But it had to stay healthy. And she did less to it than she did the time before. I don't think she had to put toner in it or anything. It was a lot less. And then, I don't know. It was weird. But anyways, you have to wash it up cold first. And it was cold this morning. She said, I got to rinse it at first with it's cold. And I'm going to be real quick because I know it's going to suck. And it did. It was like laying in the thing in cold water. And you're just like, and then she made it warm.
But I didn't have to get up.
He didn't have to get up.
She was up and out. And I didn't even know you didn't take the debit card.
No.
Because I had just was just up and about when you texted that.
Yeah. I didn't have it.
I sent her the money for it, and she was like, can you send this money over? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm glad I was awake.
Yeah, no.
I got to sleep in because I didn't work today, so it was kind of cool.
Yeah, I figured that because when I was like, I'm going to head out, I'll be back later. And you're like, okay. And you went back to sleep, and I was like, he doesn't even remember where I was going.
I remember you were up and walking around, but...
Thank you, guys. I know. It was okay.
Her hair does look good, though. She came in, and, yeah, it was pretty amazing.
He never knows if I'm going to be pissed off because she charged me too much money or if whatever, but... She
does charge a lot.
I get over it.
She charges a lot, but I'm guessing Mandy's pretty happy with it because I think it looks great. You know, it doesn't take much for Mandy to look. And some of these trades
thank you. Some of these trades are going away. So I feel like, you know, the prices are going to increase because what happens if these professions that have been there for years, people quit doing it? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Well, the cost of living is higher. I mean,
yeah, he's smart.
So she does what? She kind of rents out just a space, right?
That's the new thing is you either go into a place that has a whole bunch of suites and you rent a little room and it has a wash basin and all that, or you rent a booth at a salon. The days are kind of gone when you're on the payroll at the salon.
But the thing is when you rent that space, you have to make a certain amount of money for that space.
I should imagine.
Yeah. So if you walk into a place and there's 4 chairs there, like in a salon, there might be 6 gals that rent those 4 chairs just to fill up the time slots. I guess, right? Or is it just?
Oh yeah, they're all full and they've got
Yeah.
like 6 stations.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, let's say, for example, let's say my hair was $240. Really, if you can stop, if you can get a couple of clients a day, really that's, or one.
Right. But so like how much does the chair cost to rent?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't ask.
They do it by the month, they do it by the day, do they do it by the week?
I don't know. But she has, the other thing that she has that we talked about that I really want is a Cricut. Karen probably has a Cricut. How many of you have Cricuts? Those little vinyl cutter things? Thank you. The little curtain lights. How many of you have a Cricut? We'll make Sean guess what a Cricut is.
About to ask.
I think you know, because the one time I showed you that I liked it. It was at Walmart. It's like a craft machine that cuts out. It looks like almost like a big laminator, but you can do final decals and all kinds of stuff.
You did show me that. It's expensive. The one at Target was expensive.
Very hard, Paul. Yeah.
There was a Target where you showed it to me.
They've got them pretty much everywhere. You've got your basic ones all the way up to like $1,000, but you can do really cool stuff with it. So she was talking about it, and I was like, I forgot I want one of those. You don't have one? I thought Karen would surely have one. But I was like, you can, and then there's other things where you can print out these things that are like flower petals, and they show you how to put together, and then it's almost 3D.
What was that thing that looked like a little pizza cutter?
Oh, he was very into that. It was a material cutter.
Like, and it looks like a little tiny pizza cutter.
Yeah, it's a material
cutter.
But
I thought it was like, could be great for like opening boxes and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's people use it for a lot of things.
Yeah. It
makes a good clean cut. The other thing that I'm super into right now that I want to find out about, I'm going to show you something. It's in this thumbnail, and I want to show you how cool it is. Hold on. I showed Sean. I want to show you guys. It's got to load. It's always like super slow.
Christian Dior.
Okay, so look right here. It won't go that way. Let me screenshot it and blow it up a little bit. So this right here was on DC Media Girl stream. It's custom made bobbleheads. Hold on, let me hold it still. And that's DC Media Girl and Negs. And anyway, that's who showed it. You guys, it looks just like them in the face. So it's about, from what I could see, it's about $250, $300, something like that to get a couple. But I'm assuming what they use is a 3D printer, right? Like, I know, I like, that's what I'm saying. That's where I saw it. It's because you order it, it ships in like 3 days. I can't imagine that someone is casting a mold, and I don't know, Trash Panda. That was what they were saying earlier. Oh my God, I gotta pin that.
Oh, like
I think that he might have lost another channel.
Wow.
Hold on, let me.
From what platform?
I'm gonna pin that. He's lost all of them. It's
but what
Twitch.
platform was it? Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
How? I mean, what did he do this time? Does he just?
I have no idea.
They like
my knowledge begins and ends with those bobbleheads are.
But
I really don't know.
I'm glad I know what yeeted means,
It's a new term. And there's another thing that people say when it's like, and they did this because reasons. That's like a thing too.
Reasons?
Yeah, and it's not like a cop out. It's just
you don't need to know the
like,
reasons.
Right. It would be like me
reasons.
saying, and Sean didn't go to work because reasons. Stuff like that.
Oh.
But no, you did go to work. He's like, I did go to work.
Luke Combs has a song called Reasons.
Yay, Presley.
You know that?
Yes.
He does. He has a song called
But your favorite song is Houston, We Have a Problem.
Yes. Anybody out there listen to Luke Combs? I like the song Houston, We Have a Problem.
Presley made it home safe. I pinned, Karen said there's a lot of bobbleheads around the DC. See?
Yeah.
She's a one-liner.
She's is Karen on one tonight?
She's I think after Karen sent me a text the other day and it just literally said, you can't make this shit up. And I was like, no, you really can't. Nowhere else is this craziness happen, but in our little area or whatever. But
sometimes you literally have to shuck and jive out of the way. Just
Yeah.
Just stay out of it.
Sean has taught me a lot. I've taught him a lot, and he's taught me a lot. But he's taught me the importance of just watch how it plays out.
Just watch how it plays out.
Watch how it plays out.
This is what I was telling Mandi about, nothing in specifics, but just we're talking about people like playing our channel, or like playing our lives, or people that try to drag you for whatever reason. That's
what
whatever
she's talking about.
whatever
handle.
the handles. So whenever people are being negative, if you say nothing, you do nothing about it. Don't answer it. Don't say it. People will eventually take a peek at your channel. They're gonna, it's like, who is this person? Like, oh, this person said Mandi did this or Mandi did that. You don't have to say anything. It's their side of it. People will look over. If someone's gonna, review your stuff, people are gonna eventually come over and take a look. Trust me, I know this from my former life. I know it. It's you can do absolutely nothing, and if enough people are blabbing away, they're gonna come over and take a look at what you're all about. And if you just be you when you're on your live stream or on your vlogs or whatever, then they're either gonna like you for what they see, or they're not, and they're gonna go away. But you don't have to give them any rebuttal, especially because normally when you rebut something, it's with anger, or it's with some kind of negativity that isn't truly who you are. So you ever see that picture of that? It's like a reptile, and another reptile's holding its mouth shut, and it's like the Holy Spirit. And when I'm about to, respond to a political comment or something, it's just he's holding his mouth.
Yeah,
he's holding his lips
that.
like that.
That's
I wasn't really going to grab your lips.
No,
but.
I know. I was thinking about putting that long pillow behind your back because I know it hurts. That long happily ever after one. Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't want you.
But anyway, that's when Mandi's going through it, or I'm going through it, we're right there for each other. It's like if something's, if Mandi's going through something, or someone's saying or doing whatever, I'm like, just don't worry about it.
Thank you. Presley, you're so cool. Thank you. And Karen, you're right. The Twitter rabbit, I for those of you who may have tweeted at me, DM'd me, whatever, I've logged out of my Twitter for right now. I've got the other one that I'm kind of, it's whatever. But the ATX one, I logged out of it. The days are gone when I would deactivate it and whatever, but I logged out of it. And I'm going to tell you what, it's nice.
It's blissful because
it's nice.
You hear about all the stuff that's going on that you're not part of because it's either not true or you have no comment. Let the people keep blabbing away. They look horrible when they do.
Yeah.
So.
The other thing, and I think Katie said it one time, it's like, love me, hate me, just please keep talking about me.
Right.
And that's why the people that she doesn't want to get subs that she really doesn't like, that's why she doesn't talk about them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a great piece of advice.
There's nothing, if someone's got, like, what did Katie have when she lost her channel? 40,000, 50,000 subs or whatever. So if she takes the time to talk about me, which she did for a bit, and I gained like 500 subs on the ATX channel.
Yep.
And so that was about the time when I was like, that's right. You can love me, hate me. If you care about subs and you care about growing, I suppose, then that's the way to do it. But reasons, yes.
People will tend to talk about themselves and give you all kinds of little tidbits of their character, of their values, while they're dragging somebody else. They'll tell you about a situation that's going on, but if the other person doesn't say anything, it's like if somebody calls you a liar, but you haven't lied or anything, then you're not really compelled to say anything back. So you're not compelled to say anything on social media. You just let it go.
Let it go.
You just let it be, because the other people, tend to look a little cray-cray after a while.
Danny said she got kicked off Twitter with Trump. Haven't missed it. Yeah, apparently that can get you gone for good. Katie got a bunch terminated because she used to troll Joel Osteen.
Joel Osteen?
Osteen, whatever. She trolled him to the point that they kicked her off.
That'd be probably.
I think he even responded to some of her troll tweets mad. I think, if I remember correctly. Yes, you get all their friends on Twitter, but if you join a feed conversation, you get all bitched at. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes that's why sometimes all you can say is you couldn't write this in a soap
Right.
opera.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then you know how it is, it's like a dirty little secret in your real life, unless someone has to know because they're thrown into it. You don't go tell your real life friends about what you do on YouTube because they wouldn't get it. They'll go, yeah, well, on YouTube. Like I've said before, yeah, we met on YouTube. How do you meet on YouTube?
Yeah.
Like people don't understand that it's not just about how to put a dresser together. It's like a whole underworld. You know what I mean?
There is. There is an under, what do you call it? Underbelly.
Yeah.
Or an underworld. Yeah.
My answer is always, just like other social media, you cross paths with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You cross paths. Whatever gets you to cross paths is what happens. But
You know, like something happens and Mandy like hears something that's going on and she goes, Sean, how do I handle this? And I was like, why do you need to handle it?
there's nothing to handle.
There's nothing to handle. I mean, it's this person is out saying things that aren't factual or whatever. Why do you need to set facts straight that aren't facts? And they're talking to people who don't even believe her anyway, or
That's that. We're done with that.
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, we're teetering on the edge
No,
of. Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying in general.
My point was you were right about the fact that you can just sit on it.
Right, you don't have to do anything.
No.
Whoop, there's the ladybug. It's back on me. Look.
So it rallied.
I thought I had killed it.
I was making him keep me in check. I don't know. So, okay.
There's the ladybug.
Does it fly?
They can. No.
No, I just want it to fly.
Ladybugs are our friend.
Can I have it?
Yeah.
Is it a ladybug for real?
Yeah, look.
It's not alive.
It is alive. It plays dead. Look. See it? She'll start walking. See the black dots?
I thought they bite.
They don't bite. Ladybugs don't bite.
Okay, well, you're sucking on dill pickles. Love sucking. Wow.
Here, give me my ladybug back.
I'm giving you your ladybug back.
She's gone.
Feed the chickens. Oh, it's on my. Ooh, it was on my hand, and I put it on my face. You spank him, Mandy. Wilson said I can spank you.
What?
Wilson said to spank you.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
We don't. We talked
Grandma's
about
pickles.
we talked about OnlyFans. We decided not to.
People think we do though, and I'm like, no, we're gonna spare you that. You know what I mean? Orange ones bite. Thank you. They do bite.
This was a red one.
They do bite though, and you can see their little pinchers.
They hurt.
Yeah, they hurt. That's why I thought ladybugs bite to be good luck. I used to have a bunch in my. Yeah, they took over the house where I worked before. Do you know what I mean?
You told me that there was a problem. They're mostly upstairs, right? Shit, they bite.
They do. The orange ones do. I thought all of them bit, but apparently it's the orange ones that bite. I'm not sure, like, what, Oh, Mandy, will we do something later? Look,
People can't trash panda call it chimkins. Feed the chimkins.
I don't know. That's what I was trying to figure out what that meant. Like, oh, feed the ladybug to the chickens? Would they eat it?
They would see it before we see it.
Next year, bay leaves are good ladybug deterrent. Okay, we had a swarm years ago. Numbers are low this year. They're just everywhere. They're everywhere. I don't know if it fooled them into waking them up or what.
But in Dahlonega, they were very bad.
They're pretty bad here right now.
No.
He's like, no, they're not. They're fine.
It'll be cold in about another week, and then they'll be gone.
Yeah, they'll be gone.
With the jar of spiders.
Oh, yeah, next year, because his mother hates the Jura spiders because they're just everywhere. And
red are good, orange are bad.
Next year, we're going to go get all of them from everybody's house.
Put them in a bag.
Yep, like we did. We will take care of your spiders. I bet there's money to be made in that. That might be my new business.
What?
Juro spider humane removal. And I'll go to people's house with the rake.
You feed them to chickens.
Right. And I'll say, we humanely get rid of them. Well, I don't want you to spray them. No. They feed our chickens. People would probably be like, okay.
You think?
Or you could sell them as chicken food.
Mandy would show up with her little mini rake. And the Brahmas behind you. You'd have to take them. Okay, just stay with me here, people. I'm going to let my chickens out into your yard.
Yeah, Presley, I'm intrigued.
You just carry on and do whatever it is that you normally want to do.
You like pickles.
Kind of. The chickens are going to follow me around, and after about an hour or two, you'll have no more Joro spiders.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But they only can eat so many.
No, they're
That Americana ate so many, they're hanging out of his mouth. I was like, let someone else have some.
He was the only one that could find it, though.
Yeah, they were being very, very sweet. Yes, that's the thing. That kind of gives me creeps when I think about it at night. Sometimes in bed, what stuff crawls on you that you never know.
Remember our first night in the Austin in our apartment?
Well, those were the roaches. Apparently the people that lived in the apartment before us were disgusting. I think we've told them that story before. Even though it looked clean when we moved in and they were changing the carpet, apparently there was a problem because the second the lights went out, I've told y'all that.
Hear them. And here's the thing. What I would say to Mandy is
there had to be 5,000 of them.
I mean, you could hear them crawling out of the sink, and we're laying on.
We're gonna freak people.
But it was we had a blow up bed that we were hauling around with us because we were on the run, eloping and stuff, right? And so when we put it in our apartment, it's like, well, as long as they don't crawl on us, but they did.
They did. So
they started crawling over us in the bed.
And for whatever reason, For whatever reason, Sean believed me when I said, "We'll just go get a bug balm at Walmart." You swallow 109. Really? Are you serious, Wilson?
What happened? Let me see.
I said, we can go back in. We'll set it off. It's fine. It's no biggie. And that's not the correct answer. We started coughing and I started watering. I did read it.
Oh my God, Presley.
I thought I did. Hold on. I'm all the opposites. Speak out a little. I don't deep.
Presley.
She's hilarious.
Everyone's on one tonight. Karen's on one. Presley's on one.
Presley says super busy, but you know if you get a text and you get, what the hell is going on? You know that you're like, you know that.
So these roaches were in our apartment, and so Mandy's got to go to work. Little did we know she would only be working for like 2 more days, but so we go to Walmart. It's before COVID, so Walmart's open all night or whatever. It was 11 or whatever, and we buy this fumigation thing, right? That what you're supposed to do is put it in wherever you want to fumigate the apartment, and you're supposed to leave for the day or whatever. You're not supposed to have any pets in there or whatever.
We didn't have pets in there, but
we threw the fumigation thing in there and then tried to go to sleep.
I don't know why I thought you could just.
And I was trying to tell her, I was like, I think we're supposed to like not be here. Like we're supposed to wait until you go to work tomorrow or whatever.
I had to get up at 5 to go to work, and by the time it was all said and done, it was almost like 1 o'clock in the morning. And he said, well, we'll just go stay in a motel. And I said, by the time we get to the hotel, get settled in, it'll be time for me to get up.
And then I said something like, well, I'll get some sleep. And then she
did you really say that?
Yeah, she didn't appreciate that.
Well, and he had his phone.
Did you really say that?
He had his phone, and he was taking they were everywhere, but he had his phone and he was taking pictures of them like everywhere and all these pictures. And I
just turned the light on.
And I mean, we're still in the honeymoon period or whatever, but I was like, Sean, are they posing? Do we have to take any more pictures?
What good is that going to do, Sean? I mean, every time you hear one, we know they're there.
I said, are they
You're going to run over and turn the light on and shine a flashlight on
No,
them?
you were taking their picture.
And
he would open a cabinet and there would be more, and he was like, where are those pictures? You don't still have them, do you?
I probably have them at the very beginning of I bet I do.
Oh my God.
And I was taking videos, and you're like, why are you taking videos?
I said, are they dancing? Why do we need...
He's like, I was like, I want people to believe us. Who needs to believe us?
I was like, but then they told us the most useful thing that we've heard thus far. The roaches, they like things that are warm, but they like things that vibrate.
Right.
No, for real. They said behind the refrigerator, the coils.
You know the little coil? They'll be there.
But I've never said that out loud. They like things that vibrate.
And things that are wet.
And things that are wet.
Wet and
that
vibrate.
Sounds funny when you say it out loud. But that's what he said. He said that's where you got to really treat, because that's where they hang out.
I didn't even.
Hot water heaters, like the copper pipe, that whatever, they like to be on there.
And there hadn't been anybody in that apartment for a couple weeks, and they were nasty, you could tell. So they had gone down in the pipes because there wasn't a lot of water running through it.
Yeah.
So
and they were right. Like the next day there was still some, and they said it's going to take a few days.
About 3 nights
when they're
later.
gone, they're gone. And it is absolutely the truth. The cleaner you are, the less likely you are to see them. If you keep food put away, if you keep it closed up, if you make sure you don't have like, and I mean, I guess that's common sense, but at the same time, you know, that's how you don't get mice and rats, and because we have all that chicken food in that other room, like the grains, this and that.
And the deer food and the deer feed. Yep.
I was look at Presley. She's about to go live and spill some tea.
I'm tired of these troll account creators, lie, scam. I'm ready to blow up.
You better make sure I'm there when you do it. I need to be there I need to be in the chat. But at first I was like, Sean, we're going to be fighting mice and whatever. As long as I keep the lids on it and sweep it up, and then we've got cats. I've never seen anything.
Well,
speaking of, Karen doesn't like mice or rats.
Well, there was 2 mice. She
doesn't like them.
When I cleaned out the chicken coop, there was a couple mice in there. And it was in a little area that I just thought was sealed, and it wasn't. So I cleaned that out real good, and we got some of that
spray foam.
You know, the spray foam.
Loctite.
Because, you know, a full-grown mouse only needs about that much space. It's amazing that they can get through.
They had themselves a living room going on. They were like, score, nobody gets in here.
Nobody checked. There was like
we might look for eggs, but we didn't look over.
Yeah, it was a compartment that is supposed to be sealed off from the rest.
Presley.
Like when you open up to check where the eggs are in the nesting boxes, there's one spot that you could put stuff in, like tools or whatever. And we just didn't have anything in there. You know, so we thought that the only way that you could get in and out of it is if you lifted it up. Mice can get in the smallest little crack, and there's a couple of them living in there.
Yeah.
Not anymore, though.
And we figured out that, Karen hates them. The other day...
I thought they were little rats at first, but they were just really big mice. She saw on someone's YouTube that most of their videos were of their pet rats or whatever, and she was like, because she was looking and she was like, oh my God. And I was like, really? She goes, no, you don't understand how grossed out it makes me. Yeah, let me know what the topic is and what the day. She said maybe Thursday before y'all have a panel or whatever. Does she know how to do that?
Yeah, I think she does. The other thing that is creepy, in addition to mice and rats, are hairless animals. I don't know how such a thing.
What's a pico?
I don't know. I don't know how, such things were created, or what was bred with what, or what was left out of the chromosome to make them hairless. But there is, and if y'all have it, I'm sorry, any animal that has no hair is the creepiest thing I've ever seen.
Unless they're humans.
They were very popular when I worked at PetSmart.
The hairless cats?
Well, they were hairless rats.
Yeah. I've seen a hairless, like a featherless bird. Remember I showed you that on Instagram?
That's just a thing. A hairless cat, yes.
It was like a conure that had no feathers.
But it had plugged itself.
There was something wrong with it. But it was still healthy, though. I mean, it was, running around.
They'll pluck themselves if they're stressed. Sometimes birds will. But yeah, they were popular. They were called hairless fancy rats and mice. You can put fancy in front of it all day long. You know what I mean? So you pretend it's not a field mouse. It's a fancy mouse.
Well, Mandi also said that there will be no pet snakes. right?
Oh, hell no. When I was a caregiver, you know, one of the questions they ask is, are you okay with cats and dogs? And I would say yes, but I'm absolutely not okay with snakes. I don't care if little Johnny, the grandchild, has a snake or whatever. If it's in that house, I don't care if it's in a locked tank, I'm not going in. But most older people aren't.
I thought there was
keeping
going to
boa
be a problem when
constrictors.
we lived out here because I know there's snakes. The only time I ever really saw snakes is in the spring.
Okay, Presley, yeah.
In the springtime when they all started coming out, you know, you'd see them in the road or whatever, big old black snakes, big rat snakes.
Okay, Presley.
I thought that after a while, especially where we live, that there was going to be quite a bit more, especially when we got the chickens, and that I think I only saw like 1 or 2 snakes this year, and they were little. They were little tiny.
They were
ones.
little. Did someone upset you? Oh. I thought she was gonna ask that. Yeah, Presley. She and I. We have some interesting conversations. Presley is also. Oh my gosh, you guys! So Foodie Beauty landed in the Middle East, or is it just a picture she released?
I'm still not sold on it. She's a really good troll. She could be there.
She doesn't. He said this isn't going to end well. Meaning, if she's going to marry a man in Kuwait that she does not know, that's not a good thing.
I don't know if Foodie Beauty can acquiesce to what's going to be expected of her in that country.
You can't do substances there.
I don't. Or
I don't
act
think
a
so
certain
either.
way. Or act a certain way.
It's not just covering up. That's what she doesn't understand. It's not just making sure you're covered up.
I'm borderline worried for her.
Yeah.
If she's not trolling. But then again, she's a troll. So
I don't think it's just not the picture when people started to say, oh my gosh, we stand corrected.
Jeremy, Paul is saying, yeah, I'm not believing it.
It could have been a picture from, someone will find it. They'll find an aerial picture of Kuwait, from an airplane, and they'll find it. It'll take a while.
And if you look at the picture she posted, it was a pretty perfect landscape picture, not just some that you would throw your phone up and take. It's hard to get a good picture from a plane that's moving 250 miles an hour as it's landing.
I wonder if someone can look into the properties of it and see where the location was that it pinged off of. I don't know how you do that.
It would be hard to do it as a thumbnail, to get a thumbnail.
I watch these things all the time of these women that are telling their story of going to the Middle East and marrying someone there, and they get held against their will and they're stuck there for years and years and years and years because there's no assistance to come home because they went and married someone.
I just think that we always talk about, domestic violence and this and that. It's not really considered domestic violence in that country.
It's not
under their laws.
And she was like, they have a little bit of Sharia law. I was like, is it Sharia law the presiding law of the land there?
I don't know, but I lived there, and I'm not lived there. I served there.
Well, you almost did.
And
you were there for so long.
Yeah, and it's just when you talk to people, and I did a lot of that, doing like civil, humanitarian and civil military stuff. They just look at things different. They do. And I don't know the difference between like Kuwait and Iraq, as far as generally the cultural differences. I know that there's some, government differences and this and that. But violence, sexism, in the name of religion, in the name of whatever, is fine. It is the way it is.
You can't drink there.
You see all these.
Let me grab this baby.
All these books that are being written, by young women in Iran and Iraq that have escaped
Karen.
because they wanted to be bigger than what their culture and their society says they can be. And they were persecuted for it. And some of them get away and they write memoirs and books that are amazing and atrocious to read. I'm just thinking, I'm putting that with Foodie Beauty and the way that she generally acts, and I just don't think it's going to go well. That's it.
Yeah, and I think there's got to be a little bit more than just having a passport for someone to get into Kuwait. Someone made a point and said she would need 2 seats, like legit. She'd have to buy 2 seats on the airline.
Is she that big?
That's what they said. And something else they said that they noticed or whatever. And it's like, how do you know she didn't buy 2 seats? Like, I don't know.
That's true.
I'm curious. I didn't even know about that she was actually going until Presley told me a couple of days ago. And then I was like, what? And then she said she's going to go buy eggs at an egg clinic because she doesn't make any. And Salah, who I guess they call him Salad, but his name is Salah, they're gonna do in vitro with some donor eggs and I mean, there's too much thought been put into it. Presley thinks it's Natter, because Natter's kind of off the grid right now.
Uh-huh.
So she thinks that the whole mystery Middle Eastern
Isn't he like
he's
Middle
Egyptian.
East? Yeah, so I
that
mean,
it's him that she's covering for.
Yeah, Teresa, honor killing, I could tell. I'm not going to do it today, but I know of a couple of them that.
Who are you going to honor kill?
No, she said they talk about honor killing.
I know.
And those,
you said not today.
Not today, but there's story. When I was served in Iraq, we had to go and investigate a couple of honor killings, and it is just jaw-droppingly sad.
Yeah.
Because these are like family, like fathers killing their daughters in the name of.
And that's the most humane way is for the father to do it.
It was.
He said it was better, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, I'll tell the medium story. I won't tell what we found and everything. But this was a father. When we interviewed him, he said, his daughter was alleged of having sex, like premarital sex or something, and the local tribunal was going to come get her. So he decided to kill her, so that, and he said that it would be easier to kill her than to turn her over to the tribunal, what they would do to her. Now, the other part of it is the way he killed her. He said it couldn't be too easy, or else the society would have said that he let her off too easy.
Wow.
Like he couldn't, so he had to do it in a certain way.
Wow.
In order for it to be a satisfactory,
Did it affect him?
I didn't. We just asked him. I mean, we found the body.
Was he a mess?
No.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I guess he was a little bit. I mean, this was the dad, but the body that we found and the manner in which it was killed, and we asked him why, and he told us the whole story behind it.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Remember when it happened in the United States when that dad did it, and he was being charged with capital murder, and his defense attorney was saying that it's in his country, it's something that's, and like Sharia law or whatever it was, and that he should not be a capital murder. And they were like, I don't give a fuck if they do that there. You don't do that here. Hey, Nelson, how are you? Yeah, like ran over her or something with like really, because she wanted, someone might remember better than me, but she wanted to marry an American and wouldn't marry who he was, something like that. And so I believe there was even a 911 call. Like the sister called 911 and was like, my dad's killing my sister or whatever, because she's, you know what I mean? So it was like, Presley, we were talking about Foodie Beauty landing in Kuwait. Is it true? Is it not true? Yes, Taco Tuesday. I had taco. I really did have tacos.
We did have Taco Tuesday.
I did at Hacienda.
We did.
We had
I had
tacos.
chorizo tacos.
We're good. How are you? Yeah, in the Middle Eastern countries, if a woman is ard, then it's seen as bringing shame on their family name, and therefore they might murder her. That, yeah, or they castrate her.
I mean,
it's the female cat, and then you can't ever. It's painful from there on out if you ever. I saw that on a little thing.
The thing was, what this father was saying was that he,
Maybe
he loved his daughter, and he didn't believe the charges, but it wasn't gonna, or what was alleged, but it wasn't gonna matter, and he made a decision to not turn her over to the authorities. So it was basically that was why he did what he did.
And then he just left her body somewhere?
Yeah, it was just out there on the
so they would
side of the road.
know that he did it.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
God.
And yeah, I mean,
that's incredible.
But I mean, we remember like when we were building our fob up, and we were just south of Sawyer City where I was at, and so we would hire locals to work, for us. And after a while, a lot of the women that worked on our fob, they started to dress more Western. So that they have like a Yankee cap, a baseball cap on, or they started wearing blue jeans, and it was mentioned that how much it was putting them at risk, doing that. And it was bad enough that they were working for the Americans. For some people out there, we had one interpreter that we hired him because and he was a very impressionable, about 25-year-old dude, and he would work. He'd show up for work, and he'd travel around, and he would interpret for us or for whoever. And he came up missing, and we didn't see him for about 3 weeks. And apparently, he was abducted and taken away, but he got away. He ended up letting us know somehow that he was okay, but that he couldn't work for us anymore or something like that. Yeah.
They brought a lot of them back, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of Iraqi
Asylum
families that could never ever, live normal lives once the bulk of the Americans left. So there was a lot of Iraqis that got work visas and were able to come back with us and work in the United States and live here in the United States. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I've told this before. When I was working at Randall's, when you remember when Mandi and I were in Texas still, and we were doing our channel, and I would work at night. If y'all remember, I worked the third shift. It was at and somebody said that I was working at Sprouts, but I was working at Randall's at night. And one of the managers of the produce section was an Iraqi guy. And so one night, and this was during COVID, so this was 2020, in the spring of 2020. He approached me one morning at about 4 a.m, because I would go to work at 10 and he would come in at like 3 a.m. And he said, I heard you were, like an American soldier, you were in Iraq. And I was like, yeah. And he said, where? And I said, Sawyer City. Well, he grew up in Sawyer City. And he was there as a 15-year-old when I was there.
Oh, wow.
And, we knew the, Jamelia Police Department, all the same places that I was. He was a teenager running those streets. And long story short, he managed to make it to America, and, he's a hardworking guy, and he manages the produce section of a grocery store. He was like 30 or 32.
Well, he probably saw a lot, though.
So we were talking about at that time was when, there's a lot of change in our country, right? A lot of stuff was going on. And I said, what do you think about what's going on in America right now? And he said something to me that stuck with me. He said, when statues start coming down, when people start tearing statues down, that's when things are going to change. That's when things get bad.
Oh, okay.
And that was a time when they were, there's a lot of stuff happening in our country. Same thing happened in his country. So anyway.
That's interesting. I remember I didn't know, did he see a lot while he was there?
The big thing why we talked was that where I happened to be in Iraq, it was exactly where he was. Like there was he would see the American soldiers all the time. And chances are I was part of those soldiers that he was around. He was a teenager.
Yeah.
And it was the small worldness of it was of anywhere in Iraq. I was actually in the town that he lived in. I was actually knew the same places that he knew.
Wow.
And so that was pretty cool. And then here it was 15, almost 20 years later. It would have been 17 years later. We're both in Leander, Texas at the same time, working at the same store.
That's so ironic.
It's pretty amazing.
Teresa's husband was in the Army for 28 years, and their interpreter from Iraq is now living in the States, and he's a citizen now. He's a good friend. That was the big thing with when I guess we finally pulled out of Afghanistan. They left a lot of the translators there or whatever.
Yeah.
They were trying to get back over because they were like, we had a deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we had a deal. We can't stay here.
Nope.
Because the Taliban took back over.
Yeah. It's
a very, very small world sometimes.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, it is a small world. Yep. So, but what I know, and it's not like I'm some expert in the Middle East, but I was over there for a couple of years. Foodie beauty, I just don't. I don't like those chances.
Yeah.
I don't like those odds for her. Put it that way. That's all I'll say.
The odds for foodie.
For it to be a good ending.
The only thing that I can hope is that she is trolling, and that in a few days she's gonna be like, "I did go, but I'm back now," and she'll take all of it off.
That's true.
But Presley thinks, and she's got a point, that it's not her.
Might be.
Like whatever, she's trying to impress him by saying, "I'll even cover up for you," and whatever. But no, she won't stay covered forever. You know what I mean? Because at first she said she wasn't going to do live streams anymore. She was just going to do videos. And then she was live again with her.
That's just nothing to play with. It's nothing to play with. I mean,
plus, can you imagine when she climbs off the plane?
Yep.
And he's like, whoa.
Or the first time that she's expected to be,
Subservient.
meet this guy's family and be submissive and be subservient, or she's one of several women. Because,
she was saying that apparently the first wife has to say it's okay for a man to take other wives. And it's like, I don't think the first wife has to say, I mean, like if they're barren, I guess they can take another wife or something.
It's just crazy. But I mean,
I didn't even know she was 38. I had no idea. Yeah. I thought she was late 20s, early 30s, or you know what I mean? Yes. Absolutely, Wilson. If he found out he was affiliated with the Americans, his family are at risk of being murdered. Yeah, that's why when they needed they were like, you have to take us from Afghanistan. And I think we did for the most part.
Well, I mean, like it or not, America's got a history of making deals with different peoples and then just piecing out when it was time for them. I mean, I remember there was a time when we were sitting around and it was called 9 Nissan. I don't know why it was called 9 Nissan, but it was so we would have lunch with the tribal leaders and stuff there, and they would express this concern. They said, look, you guys aren't going to be here forever. We don't want you to be here forever. You're saying you're not here. You said that you're liberators and you're not conquerors, that you're here to help us. It's extremely difficult for us to be able to make and foster relationships with you guys when you guys are just going to leave and go home when it's your time.
Yeah.
And then another group of soldiers is going to come in for their time, and then they go home and another group comes in, because that's what we do. Our tour will be 18 months or whatever, and then a different group of people will come over and we'll pass it off to them when we go home, and they don't know anything. They don't know these people.
Right.
And they have to reestablish whatever. And so, I mean, they're right. We don't want to live there forever. We don't want to be there forever.
No, they don't want us there forever.
Give them the stuff that they need and then us go home.
Yes. Presley says, talking about Chantel, a week before she hooked up with Salah, she screwed a married man. A week before, it was someone else. She's trashed. But if she's actually doing it, nobody knows for sure that she's even with these guys, because she doesn't show it or whatever.
How much does this guy know of who she is and what she does on social media?
Paula, she's a big girl.
Whoop, big girl. Be careful, big girl.
She's a big girl. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, I don't think she's there. There's got to be more to it to get there. You can't just in 3 weeks be in Kuwait. I don't think.
I guess if you have your passport and all that, but
But you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
There's got to be more.
There's something.
But I forget she's Canadian, so Homeland Security. I was like,
that's
you
true
go
too.
over there to meet a man in Kuwait and try to come back next week from the States. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, we don't know what their. I'm not sure what their airports are like and how easy it is to come in and out. I know that it's what I've heard and what I hear it's harder to immigrate to Canada than it is to the United States.
That's what I've heard.
That the immigration laws in Canada are way more strict than they are here.
But she was also telling this thing, because Presley was telling me about it. she bought a house and they got the keys and everything, but then it didn't work out. They didn't want to whatever. But if she already got the keys, then the house is a done deal. It's all of it doesn't make sense.
Maybe, and that's the thing. I don't think it works the same way. Oh, we're gonna come on over and we'll go rent an apartment. Come run away to Austin and we'll go. I don't think it's the same.
That's what I'm saying. It's not the same.
Yeah.
She's gonna have a hard time coming back over. I mean, I don't guess they really know why she went over there. She can say to visit or whatever.
I'm just talking about once she's there and once she starts to try to assimilate into the culture and with his family. I don't think she'll be able to do it. I just don't. And I think that you're right. And when it's time, when they break up, it's going to be extremely difficult for her to get back.
Stitching says, people do illegal crossings into Canada every day from the USA. But what about coming in on a plane?
But we're just talking about like to immigrate. Like if Mandy and I decided we wanted to go live in Quebec and we were going to just become Canadian citizens. It's not that easy.
Listen, as Presley says, everything she says, she lies. She snorts coke, eats edible drugs, farts, burps, smack her food, her snot, eats, and her snot. Oh, eats her snot, eats a 6-course meal by herself. She's a druggie.
And she's a big girl. Girl.
It's something, I don't think she would just drop everything and go. I think that's out of her comfort zone, probably for sure. But you're right. They can't rent our own property there.
It's not like.
And they may take her passport. Like when most of the time, that man, she may get there and she's like, okay, and he takes her passport. That's the last she sees of it.
Yeah, it might be like you're here.
Yep.
Now, once you cross this line, and she does, he's like, now this is how this shit works.
Yeah. It's like, first of all, you're gonna get on a treadmill.
Oh my, that's not.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
You think she gets off the plane and she walks in the airport and he looks at her and goes, "Woo, big girl."
You a big girl.
Big girl.
He must know how big she is. Does he know she's I mean, I don't have like anything inherently against Foodie Beauty, but yeah, he'll send her back, and I don't think he can. He turned in for lying about this marriage. She said she was turning. That thing is right. I mean,
laughing about that. Like,
they would have to she would probably have to get two. I mean, she breaks her bed and stuff. I'm not even being funny. She breaks furniture and stuff.
I mean, I don't watch a whole lot of her. I only see like as much as we're seeing here, and she does look big, but I don't know how big. I don't know how he's sleeping. Does she ever say how much she weighs?
450. Someone said. I think
really?
She's bigger than that.
I didn't think she was that big, but I don't know.
Rumor on the street has it that Tammy Slayton is really, really sick. Does anybody know anything about that? She has a trach now or something. Did they're saying they can't really say what's going on because of the non-disclosure, but apparently she's not doing well. Even she was in a medically induced coma for a while and stuff like that.
And it wasn't COVID related?
I don't know. I'm just curious if anybody has any idea, have they heard? Yeah, it's not and I hope they pay them well because, TLC's making a tremendous amount of money.
Yeah, that's all I ever said. I don't know if y'all remember because when they started to do their show, we were in Texas, and I had talked, not texting or anything, but Tammy Slayton and I were like Instagram friends or whatever, and I just thought that I hope they treat them well. That's was my comment, is I hope they do them right, because television shows like that tend to not to do that. They pay you a little bit and do whatever, and then when they're done with you, they're done with you. But since they've started that show, Amy's got 2 kids,
she has
two children, and got some surgery done, and it seems like Tammy's kind of been not doing as well.
She won't. So. She's very, very yeah. TLC are bottom feeders. Totally took advantage of them. And what's interesting to me is they have their little houses now. Like Amy Slayton's got a cute little house. I don't know where it is, but it's a cute little house. But it's still decorated. Nothing wrong with Walmart furniture. I've gotten a bunch of cheap bookshelves there, but that's kind of what she has. She's still a hometown girl. But,
I mean, if that is all the income that she has, even if they're giving her 10,000 an episode or something, or 15,000 an episode.
That's still jipping her.
It's still, yeah, it's still, you know, and how many episodes a year? 10?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's interesting that her brother, which was never really on YouTube, is on the show too. Well, we're gonna sign off in a moment.
Okay, we're gonna finish it up.
Yes, but
how
you
long
can.
Have we been on, man. We've been on
for a minute. Frugal is good. Yeah, it's interesting because I don't think that. I think she's always gonna. I may be wrong. I think that Amy Slayton would always be humble. I think that no matter, Chris, her brother. I don't think no matter how much they got, she would never be like. People could say what they want to about her, but she's always been pretty down to earth. You know what I mean?
Who, Amy?
Yeah, she always just wanted love. She wanted a husband. She wanted kids, and that happened for her. And the husband, for as much as they talked about him in his record, he seems to be pretty good to her and a good dad.
Now, what was his record?
He had a domestic.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He admitted to it. Amy knew about it.
Mm-hmm. And it was years ago.
Didn't make excuses for it. Yeah, Michael. Yeah, they're.
I haven't seen the new baby. The first child, he's cute as a button.
They have, and she seems to be like Trisha Paytas found her thing. It seems like Amy Slayton has too. So, just like we've always said, and Randy actually said this the other day, you can't fault someone that finds love.
Yeah, I mean,
it's all, I'm anxious for another season, but Tam, you made it hard to have sympathy. They said she is the most beloved yet begrudged character because she's so stubborn. Tammy is. That have a good night, Presley. We'll be gone by the time you get home, but be super careful.
I thought she said she was home.
She was pulling a car into the thing for some service to be done on it.
4 a.m. will be here in 6 hours. Yeah, it will.
That's early. Yeah, everyone, that's just it. It's like, I don't know. They seem to be pretty solid. And I could, Trisha Paytas went through a lot of stuff. She took a lot of shit when her frenemies went south, and Ethan Klein and the family fallout, and she had a lot of hate. It appears that this has kind of turned the corner for her.
Yeah, but a lot of that was on her. A lot of that was on her. I mean, she was...
Oh, it was, and she knew that, but she even admitted some of it. She's like, I don't know how I'm going to recover from this one. Everybody's mad at me.
Yeah, and then she had the OnlyFans thing going on for a while, and...
She really can't do it.
You can't do that. I mean, you can. Moses.
She does, but
but still,
she doesn't feel right doing it.
A lot of the stuff that people were tuning in for on her OnlyFans involved another human, and relations, so to speak, and
reasons,
and so we so for $5 a month we can't subscribe anymore because reasons.
Right. Well, OnlyFans was paying out a lot for a lot of people.
She was the number one OnlyFans. Number one. And she was only asking, it was only like $5 or $10 a month that she was
only $5. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy amount of subscribers to.
So when you think about it, let's say she got $3 of those dollars a month.
Right.
And if there was 60,000 people subscribe to it. I mean,
that's 180,000.
It's a lot of money.
180,000 a month, and I think she was making $1 million a year. Didn't she say she was making something like that?
She said now she's got a whole lot of debt. Mm-hmm. She plays Powerball. She's very open about it. She plays Powerball.
But she was living in a very expensive part of LA, and
she said that it was no big deal in the past that she would get emails. And she said every once in a while someone would send an email and say, I'm a single mom, and whatever. And she'd PayPal them $1,000. She said she used to be in a position that she absolutely would do that. She said she's not in a position to do that anymore. Now, who knows if she actually did it. But she said she never shared it, that she did that. It was just something that she did. A few of the people said, hey, she said when she gets, she's still paying for the wedding. She said, the wedding set her back a lot of money.
If they honeymooned in the place where she said
the Maldives
she did
or whatever, yeah.
At what was it?
$50,000 a night.
A night.
Under the ocean.
It was more than 50,000, wasn't it? Wasn't it like?
No, it was like
50,000. So you stay there for 4 nights. I'm pretty sure $250,000 or whatever. I think it was 50,000. It wasn't. 500 or 4.
No,
okay.
no. I think it was like 50,000. But and it was under the ocean, and they would the cook would bring the food down, and they had a whole.
So, but like the whole ceiling was fish and stuff.
I don't know how deep that part was but they were literally under the ocean.
But they said it was fairly deep, right?
Yeah, it was on the ocean floor.
But I mean, to have that type of fish at 100 feet,
Probably.
something like that.
Probably. I'm not sure. She said she wouldn't do it again if she had it to do over again. Look at, he's annoyed. He wants to go night-night.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cat over here. He's like,
I gotta go to bed.
Y'all shut your pie holes and go to bed. He's looking at me. He's like, you have to be to work in the morning. You know?
Yeah. We don't have to get up at 4. But again, thank you for hanging out with us. We made it 100 minutes.
100 minutes?
100 minutes.
So yeah, what time is it? Let's see. 10:30 East Coast time. So we'll let you know. The DC media might have slipped up on their time, but we'll see. That's for another time.
Yeah.
That's for another time. 10:30. So if I go to bed at midnight,
Negs and Trisha Paytas used to panel up together. Yes, they did. Trisha Paytas has paneled with Peter Mon before. But Negs, quite a few times.
When I was at Neg's house, he had his little workstation, in his bedroom. That's where he used to stream from. And he had a little Christmas card from Trisha Paytas, and it was like one of his had sat right on his little area of I guess it was his little YouTube area,
The trash, they were saying goodnight to Trash Pants, like, good night, trash.
Good night, trash.
Anyways, but yeah, thanks for hanging out, and we will more than likely be back tomorrow. Try to be here at 8:30 instead of 9 o'clock, but I had to go get tea. It was a whole thing because reasons. Now I'm going to take a bath.
Reasons.
Anyway, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.